Hello everyone, welcome to Geoguessr Explained, and welcome to another episode where I explain my thought process and hopefully let you guys improve at the game via my 60,000 games of knowledge. So let's get into it here. Also, sorry for the lack of uploads. Obviously, World League was kind of keeping me busy, but we're back. Okay, first round here. And immediately what I notice is we have a very short license plate here, so unlikely to be Europe for that reason. Obviously, it's pretty tropical as well, so that would definitely check out. We've also got this exposed brake light here. I think people call this the new Gen 3 car, because it's the Gen 3 car that they drove towards the end of the Gen 3 cycle. And this particular car, when it's in Generation 3, you can see it in Mexico, Colombia, and Brazil. I'm pretty sure that's it. You may be able to see frames in other countries that look like this, but as a rule, only those three. Brazil has long license plates, Colombia has yellow license plates for the most part, and Mexico has short white license plates. This is a short white license plate. So default would be Mexico here, though Colombia is still theoretically possible. Whether we have another white license plate here. So with that should be Mexico. Confirmed with the sun here. Sun's kind of north, so that is not particularly good, obviously. I guess it's more just east, but it's slightly north, so I guess we should take a look out for other clues. Black water tanks, that is good for Mexico. Mexico uses mostly black and white water tanks. We've got a dark wooden pole here. Mexico does often have like very dark wooden poles, I would say. So that also checks out. Are we growing... What are we growing here? It looks like there's some kind of crop, but it's very hard to make out. Got like a pine tree there, so a bit more of a colder climate. Maybe some palms or some bananas there, not quite sure. Definitely feels like it's going to be one of these like semi-tropical parts of Mexico. The very dark soil here does remind me of maybe like Colima area. It's kind of chocolate brown soil. You can also get that in Veracruz as well, I would say. So probably those two areas. With mountains east, I do think Colima could work. I'm not really sure if Colima has the new Gen 3 car, though. That's my concern here. Yeah, I guess like Veracruz or Chiapas would be my other two ideas, just because it looks quite a lot like Colombia. Obviously, Chiapas being closer to Colombia does actually share a lot in terms of landscape as well, I would say. Yeah, not 100%. I mean, it should be Mexico, but I'm not 100% sure where. Just hanging pole. So, hanging pole tops, that reminds me more of east, actually, so I'll go Chiapas here instead, I think. Let's go for that. Wow, it was actually colder. Yeah, the sun was a bit weird position. So the problem is here that we have two white license plates, and they're both... Well, that's actually really hard. What's up with that license plate? Because this one, like, yeah, you will see white license plates. It was hard to place in Mexico, but even this pole looked more Mexican, actually. Okay, let me tell you how I could have gotten it right, because I think it's actually quite a gettable round. Number one, well, yeah, I was going to say, like, trucks, yeah, you can see white license plates, but this is like a personal car. It should have had a yellow license plate, in theory. Black water tanks, I guess, is both countries, yeah. But how to get it? Number one, I would say... The way the lamp is attached here, in like kind of this saluting shape, it's like the Argentinian shape, except it's just attached to the side of the pole. That, I would say, is much more common in Colombia. Probably doesn't really exist in Mexico. Number two, this car should be more common in Colombia too. Number three, this saw car is more common in Colombia, but it definitely fits for some areas of Mexico. Well, that's a legitimately hard round, especially for Arbitrary World. I would not expect... We are playing Arbitrary World, right? Yeah. I would not expect to fail many rounds for the country on Arbitrary World, but there you go. Okay, next one here. We got the back tab, the blue back tab. This is the European/South African car. I needed some water. The shape of this lamp is the same as the one in Argentina. I mean, Colombia there. And that's found around Europe, certain countries more than others. We got the holy pole here. As far as I remember, in terms of holy poles, you know, Poland, Hungary, Romania, I'm pretty sure Romania has this type of lamp attachment much more than the other two. And having like a really long hole like this, like a really long thin hole in the top of the holy pole, that would definitely lead me Romania as well. I think it's maybe possible in Hungary, but yeah, pretty rare regardless. And beyond that, we really don't have much here. Yellow on the pole, not going to help out much, I would say. Yeah, it's flat and fairly dry, so I'd probably just go for the south here, near Bucharest. Yeah. Okay, next one here. So probably going to be solved by Carmeta, I imagine. Looks like Ghana to me. Ghana, obviously going to be driving right-hand side of the road. This kind of pavement texture is very common. Wow, she's carrying something on her head as well. This is very cool. Is that pure balance? That's very, very cool. Definitely a cool part of African culture for sure. But there you go. You got the Ghana tape here. With bigger hills, probably going to be towards Accra, like in this kind of area here. Lots of palm trees as well. Like when you see coconut palms abundantly, then it should be towards the south, because like oil palms too, both count. Yeah, I guess those are kind of northwest of us, so maybe something like this. Okay, well, it's just these mountains here on the coast of the lake, just generally speaking around the lake, and particularly towards the south as well, the hillier areas. Okay, Russia. Okay, so I don't think we talked too much about antenna stuff, but this is a very difficult round. I mean, firstly, let's talk about without antenna. So we have like a kind of brownish soil. We've got tall and pretty dense birches. I'm looking at these are all birches actually. Birch, all the way down the end of the road. I think these are birches too. So that's immediately useful. If you see birch absolute spam, probably kind of starts in Ufa and kind of ends, I would say, in like Novosibirsk area. Kemerovo maybe. Yeah. So it's like this kind of area above Kazakhstan where you just get the absolute birch spam. Then, I mean, what even is this? This is a weird antenna, to be honest. We do have some smudges behind the car. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Oh yeah, I have to remember my smudges here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Anyway, so like you could pretty confidently say we're between those two, and then I would say with the double smudge behind the car. So this is the behind of the car. We got the double smudge. It's the. I forget, to be honest. I'm pretty sure. Would this be? I don't remember my smudges well enough. I'm pretty sure this is either Novosibirsk area, like one of these two, or like Tyumen, Yekaterinburg. Let's actually just try and do it with the landscape then. We do have a pretty significant hill there, so I'd go for this one then. Yeah. The Kemerovo makes sense too, yeah. Yeah, it's more hilly out there, obviously, like above Kazakhstan's very flat until you get to the Urals. Okay, tough round here. So immediately, yellow center lines. Sign set up for right-hand drive. We got a maximum sign there, so it would be 2 words in the US. Speed limit. This is clearly says only 1 word, so maximum. And it's got a black bar at the bottom. That black bar is most common in Ontario. Is it actually elsewhere? I'm just trying to remember. I don't think so. It's like whitish car here. The car color is kind of confusing me. I feel like it should be. I would have thought it would be blue, so maybe it is just blue and it's hard to make out. It's kind of rocky on the side of the road, which also fits for Ontario. Like, especially the west of Ontario has a lot of, like, big rock faces on the side of the road. I'm thirsty again. Also trees. So, we've got, like, black, what's it called? Black spruces here on the side of the road. That's more of a northern kind of tree. They're just spammed in the north of Canada. So that makes me think we're not too, like, down towards Ontario, like Toronto. We're probably going to be above Sudbury here, at least in some way. A north-south road here is interesting, though. Not too sure what to make of it. I mean, it bends up ahead, so I'm not really sure. You could go here, you could go here. Just trying to think. None of the roads out here are too straight. I mean, it could be. So to the north, it bends kind of east. I don't know. I mean, there's even not that many angles on this road that would fit, so not feeling too good about that. This road, didn't really think so. This road, I mean, yeah, I'm just going to go here. It was this road. Okay. Considered it. I mean, it was north of Sudbury after all, so that's a decent result. Yeah, the Colombia, they're legitimately challenging around. I should have looked at the lamp. I think if I saw that, I would have gotten it correct, but, you know. All right, we'll shoot for a high score on NPZ. Let's get it. Okay, yellow center lines. Okay, I know what country it is. I'm just trying to think how I'm going to explain it. Okay, so first things first, I'm noticing off to the left here, we have this kind of fence where these like big trees are grown into the fence. There are like fence posts and then there are trees inside. That is a characteristic feature of Colombia, Panama, and Mexico, I would say. So we're back in that kind of 50-50-50, 33-33-33. Copyright here is 2023. That is very good because that's conforming to what I was expecting. Oh my gosh, this fly is absolutely annoying me. Anyway, okay. The road lines being like this kind of faded is something I really associate with like South Carolina, but in the context of Latin America is very common in Panama, and the fact that it's hilly, but with kind of like, I mean, Panama doesn't have that much red soil, I would say. It's mostly more of like a neutral color, and I don't know, it just feels like Panama, and then 2023 obviously fits, and then if we were panned the other way, we would see probably the truck here, but considering we're driving right? So this is the back of the car. So that makes sense. Panama in NMPZ is almost always going to be panned away from that car. And so you can kind of make that out. You know, you can be like, oh, well, if we were looking the other way, it would be the truck. So it makes sense that we had to be looking this way. You know what I mean? Yeah, so feeling good about that. Not sure where, to be honest. I could even see it being this road. What's it? West-northwest with kind of southern mountains. I could see it being like this area here. Could see that. I'll try it. Yeah. Not too sure what made me think that. Probably like the overcast kind of coverage there. I don't know how common that is across the country, but it just kind of spoke to me. 2024. So when you get these like Middle Eastern rounds here that look like the Gulf states, then you should check their copyright immediately because 2023 is just much more common in Qatar, whereas 2024 is much more common in these two. Obviously, we're going to be driving right because we're in those countries. So the front of the car would be behind us, so that makes sense. Immediately also good to look out for is that in Qatar, you will not have like any, I mean, in Oman, you won't have any high-rise buildings, and we don't see any, so that does feel good. But I'm still kind of thinking this is UAE, just because it's so flat. And actually, yeah, these lamps are UAE style with the super close together ones. I would say that's the UAE style. The problem is, though, I would expect to see a brake light on the car here. Normally you'd have brake light in 2024, but maybe it's just the truck. You do get the truck sometimes. Yeah, that's, and also the fact that we're doing yellow, white, yellow, white, yellow does feel more UAE. I think they're more consistent with road lines. It would probably be white road lines here, I think, in Oman. Anyway, I'm going to trust the lamps here. The lamps are the main thing that make me think this is going to be UAE. Turning around, let's see what the car was. It was the black car, but no brake light. That's kind of surprising. Let's see if we can move a few frames if we see it. Okay, that's good to know. The brake light's not always there. I wonder if we go the other side of the road if we could see it. It's even kind of grey car here. But yeah, no brake light. Okay, that's interesting. I thought it's more common than that, but apparently you don't always have it, so that's good to know. Okay. Much better start in terms of score already. This one's looking difficult though. Okay, this one's not too much to say, I would say. Kind of blackish dirt road. That reminds me of like Russia, Ukraine, Poland. It's probably too dark to be the Baltics. I don't know, for whatever reason the Baltics do have very like pale soil. But the main thing here that makes me think of the country here is like these very long support beams on this pole. It just reminds me of Polish pole tops. It definitely doesn't remind me of a Ukrainian Russian, so that's a good thing. Like, you would not see, like, big support beams like that on their poles, I would say. Yeah. Vegetation-wise, pretty generic. Could see it being more north or more south here. I think like a north of Warsaw click here. There's also probably more Gen 3 north of Warsaw, like in this kind of pocket towards the Baltics, but kind of a fake matter. Doesn't work very well. Yeah. Houses do kind of... The first house kind of gives a Baltic vibe, but the red roof behind it doesn't at all, so I'm just going to go here. And it was, down towards that. That doesn't surprise me. Towards Germany, you will see some more tiled roofs. Towards Germany and Czechia, this looks like it's going to be a real tiled roof to me. Yeah, real tiles, so makes sense. But this first house is kind of interesting, though. Yeah, the first house, okay, yeah, really old tiles, so also still real tiles. So yeah, probably in what used to be Prussia. Or maybe not quite Silesia, I guess, yeah. Makes sense. Probably could have gotten that. Next one here, Ghanaian flag on the thing over there. Again, this road texture, the kind of salt and pepper texture. And plus, we got lots of coconut palms here, so I'm thinking between Aksim and Accra, probably more towards Aksim here. That's my idea. It's quite flat as well. Like I would kind of expect if it was more towards Kumasi, a bit more hilliness. So I'll go here. Okay, it was actually Accra. Right on the border there. Makes sense. Not an easy place to get though, I think. Last one here. So United Kingdom, I think this is the way they do with 2 lines, I think that means you're in the United Kingdom when you're pulling up to a giveaway. And the fact that it's Gen 3 is much more common in the UK and Northern Ireland anyway. Compared to Republic of Ireland, that is. I think actually... there is actually a fair amount of Gen 3 up here. I think it's going to be Orkneys or Shetlands, to be honest, because we don't see a single tree. So, yeah, I'll go Orkneys here. And Shetlands, okay. Fair enough. Well, obviously a much better score than the first one. And not the easiest seed either. So if you manage to get all 5 countries, you should be proud. But yeah, I mean, like, just from this one, I didn't really explain properly, but you can tell it's left-hand drive, right? The car's going to pull up here and stop here. Whereas on this side, just a single dash. Or not even a single dash. Oh yeah, a single dash, okay. So yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Buildings. I mean, yeah, you see trees planted at the properties here, but there are no other trees, and that is just a really good indication. If you're not going to be in, like, the Faroes or Iceland, that's going to be a really good indication of here, or maybe, like, all the way up here. Okay, hope you all enjoyed. I'll be back with another one of these soon enough, probably tomorrow, and I'll see you guys then.